beauty of doing this on a phone. Alright, brother.
This is a Generation Gaming production.
Shut up and sit down.
Generation Gaming is the video game news outlet made for the gamers by the gamers. Join the revolution to put the gamers voice first. Now, from Generation Studios, this is the Generation Gaming Podcast. Here is your host, the voice of Generation Gaming, Jay Lewis, and welcome back, the one and only Mind of Psycho, PSYKOSIS.
Welcome to the Generation Gaming Podcast. I am Jay Lewis at your service once again. Thank you for joining me this morning on this early stream. We are obviously doing this on Twitch, but this is going to be available on YouTube immediately following the end of this podcast. It's happened. The man's voice you're going to hear has not been on anything Generation Gaming related probably in about, besides the streams recently, since like June maybe. Anyway, the one, the only, PSYKOSIS is back on Generation Gaming. How you doing, man?
I'm alright. I was gonna, be an asshat and, do my little, theme from, the video that I posted, a couple days, last week or whatever. But I was like, that's a little much. I don't feel like what's there.
Now, I know you wanted to say something, but I think you did before we started anyway, but if you still want to. I thought you would. Hold on.
It's actually kind of funny because, I took a lot of time to think about everything and whatnot, because, I was doing my own thing for a while, but legitimately, it just, it felt weird for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it.
And it was just because, the thing is, when you and I, first started doing this and whatnot, it was kind of hectic. I had a lot going on at the time, so it was nothing personal or anything like that. It was just I had to take care of some of the things I had to take care of, and right then and there, I couldn't focus on doing this and everything I was doing because I was moving and I had a lot of personal stuff going on, so it was just I had to take a little bit of time. I had to for a little bit. But now that I'm back, it's just I'm ready to go and get everything started.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is before most people obviously don't know this or watch this is and I should be, but at the same time I need to be mindful of it. It's my creation. I want it to be as best as it possibly can, but at the same time I think I'm asking too much. I'm it's come to posting. When people might think it's kind of wild, is you would think posting stuff about video games is not very hard. Well, if you want to keep up with it every single day, it can get a little tedious. I don't do it as much anymore because I'm doing so much on streaming, but I'm trying to get back into that, is trying to have that posting about news. I still do, but not as much. But I think I asked too much on the end of his part, and I think there was a little much, and then we had to do a podcast, have your own podcast show, and then we weren't really streaming, though, at the time. It really wasn't a thing, but now that's more heavy.
Because even before then, when, years ago, probably 4 years ago, I think it was. Yeah, no, it might have been 5. 4 or 5 years ago, when, I first approached you about this, and, we didn't even, think about what we're going to do. I remember, I had recorded a couple of videos myself, and, they're out there on YouTube, they're hilarious. But, I recorded a couple of videos myself and, decided, I wanted to try to, do this, myself. And I was just you know what, this is stupid. And then I pitched you the idea for it, and, I let you take the reins and just, set up everything. We didn't do very well the first time out at all. You know what I mean? It went nowhere.
It's always something I wanted to do. Yeah, it was always something I wanted to do before you even had come up and mentioned it to me. I'd never had like the thought of wanting to. I don't know.
Actually putting it into motion.
Well, no.
Because I remember, like, when I first started watching Twitch and stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I watched, like, how some of the people did it and whatnot. And I'm like, because I remember, you know, me and White Boy, we had a couple of, like, people that we would watch on Twitch, and, like, the way that they would sit down and, like, have roundtable discussions. I mean, like, there is this one that I watch, you know, every so often, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not necessarily going to shout them out or anything, but, like, they do a roundtable discussion on DC Universe, you know what I mean? Like, once or twice a month.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like 3 or 4 people talking about what's going on and new updates or, you know, what's current, you know what I mean, and all that other stuff. And they sit down and they talk about their experiences and what happens and, like, everyone, like, on the forum, like, complaints on the forums and stuff like that. And I'm just like, you know, they sit down and take the time to, you know, like, to do this, you know what I mean, to actually set it up like it's a roundtable discussion, like it's a talk show and all this other stuff. You know, like, so many other people can do this, you know what I mean? And then, like, you have your basic streamers who just kind of, like, you know, get in tune with the audience. And, you know, or you look at, like, you know, Major Nelson, like, all the shit that he does. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wake up one day and you're just kind of like, oh, well, you know, I can do the same shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too. Is streaming and doing podcasts and having a news thing. It's all kind of it's relatively the same now. It's all twangled into one now. But it's. I mean, I've had recently. I mean, I've had some people. I'm not like that. I'm not that big on Twitch yet. And I'm getting there. I mean, I'm getting close to 100 followers. But it's the time. Having a schedule is making it better too. I'm noticing I'm getting more viewers now that I'm doing that. But it's a lot of effort in anything you do. Any of this, it's going to take time. You can't, like, relinquish. So now that the idea of this is what I'm doing right now and what we're doing right now. And this is another thing. PSYKOSIS is probably not, he might not be on every podcast I'm going to do because my idea is I want to do it every Monday now for a half an hour and get that half an hour as much as I can instead of doing an hour because I realize that most people are probably not going to want to sit here and listen to me and listen to us talk for an entire hour. That's not to say people won't, but having a dumbed down version or having a shorter version is going to be more feasible for people, especially on YouTube. Because most things are not ridiculously long for the shows that you see on there. They're not that long. So that's the idea. It's going to be every Monday, 6 to 6:30. It's normally going to be pre-recorded. This is live. That's just a time constraints. I just wanted to have this out there and have him heard as well. So pretty much the same thing that we've done in the past. News and headlines, upcoming video game releases in the Generation Soapbox. We might do a game review here and there. That's kind of extra. We were going to probably do one today, mini version, on the stuff. But nonetheless, if there's anything else you want to say before we get started?
I'm just glad to be back.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's going to be good, man. I'm glad to have you back. It's going to be easier for everybody. It's going to be much more successful than it was the first time out. But anyway, all right. So now, like I said, same show as before, just a little bit more. It might be a little more than 30 minutes today just because of we had to do the intro, obviously, and all of that, but that's important. But nonetheless, let's hop into it. So I had this in a particular order I wanted to do it, but after thinking about it, I'm going to change it up. So this news and headlines are obviously we're going to start out with first, but before we actually get into some of the actually news and headlines part, there's 2 things I want to talk about first before we kind of do those. One of those, I know, I should, you know what, no, this is dumb. Let's just take the news and headlines part and then go with that, obviously, because news and headlines is something you should hear first. So let me do that. All right, so.
No, we should totally go off script. Screw that. Say what you gotta say, bro.
Yeah, but it's weird, man. It doesn't make sense.
No. You've already decided to cock tease. You know what I mean? Like, no, don't do that to the fans. Don't do that.
All right.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Like,
you got a point, I guess you got a point.
You're not gonna be that stripper. You know what I mean? It's gonna be like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, I'm halfway naked, but you know what I mean? You have to pay, you know what I mean, to see the rest of this.
All right,
oh, wait, you don't want that lap dance? Sorry, I'm going to another guy.
Okay, all right, so fine. All right, fine. We'll do it like that. Okay, so, all right, so recently, and it was very quick, but it was long enough for me to get an understanding of it. And this is one of PSYKOSIS' idea, was what he wanted to do for, all right, make sure my phone's not dying, idea for the show, concept of what he wanted to do. And that is PUBG, Player Underground, and FORTNITE. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to chime in, but he wanted to kind of have his own little, he wanted to talk about it, so let's go ahead.
Let's talk about the bastard child of, like, you know, fuckery right here.
Jesus, man.
Okay. thing if you were one of those lucky people who like was playing PUBG on the PC before it became bastardized on the console. Hooray for you! But legitimately, when it comes to these games, I prefer to play PUBG. Now, don't get me wrong now, because of the fact that, there have been a lot of these clone games, out here, like, I don't know. I can't think of what the one game was, because it's not important. Because, like, once PUBG came out, it was pretty much like, oh, this is a hot new thing, we gotta start making clones of all this shit, Like, FORTNITE came out with one. And, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad game.
No, it's not.
By any means. It's not a bad game.
No.
The problem that I have with this game is the fact that, like, it's a lot more basic than PUBG.
Cartoony as well.
But in PUBG, you start off naked, alone, and afraid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I did just say that. Okay, but like when it comes to Fortnite, the first thing you have out of nowhere, is your pickaxe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you run into someone, it's not like y'all going, old school, like, throwing fisticuffs and shit. I could, like, pickaxe you to death. You know what I'm saying?
It gotta be different somehow.
Like, yeah, but at the same time, like, I also have to collect crafting materials and stuff to be able to build forts. And some of the forts these people build and whatnot, like, especially in the end game, are like
they're crazy, yo. They're fucking nuts.
Unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? So, don't get me wrong, I like both games, but like when it comes down to it, I would rather take like, the more, I can't even believe I'm gonna throw this out here, the more realism of PUBG.
I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? Then like the fact that, and I know that you've complained about this a couple of times, the fact of it being that like, I'm in the middle of a gunfight. Who the hell is gonna sit there and try to build a goddamn wall?
Yeah, exactly. That was my big issue.
Like Donald Trump.
Yeah, really.
Like,
This man. Wow.
Like, I'm gonna run. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Or I'm gonna shoot you down. Like, plain and simple. And like, there's no mods for stuff and whatnot. It's like pretty much all the guns and stuff that you find in Fortnite are all about rarity. And even then, like, I've seen it countless times where like rarity doesn't matter for shit in that game. You know what I'm saying? There are no vehicles. The map is kind of like
Pretty large.
the same. But at the same time, it's like legitimately, if you're one of those people who has learned the map,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I know like depending on which way we spawn in, you know what I'm saying, which way the bus is coming, and like which way like everybody's gonna go and stuff like that. I know where like I can easily get like a bunch of chests off break, you know what I mean, and like 10 seconds into the game after I fall, you know what I mean, like I'm already decked out and ready for endgame.
Okay, well, let me say this real quick. You're right. One thing they are having, and I just realized this, and I kind of hope because I got to try, I actually liked it, is the Battle Royale, the 50 vs. 50 limited time mode. It is coming back. It's going to be on December 23rd, and will end on December 28th. So I kind of liked it. I thought that was kind of cool. It's pretty crazy, but I do everything you said is right. It's exactly right. I lost interest in the Battle Royale when I downloaded the free one. I just downloaded the campaign, the game, the story today, like about 10 minutes before we started. I haven't got a chance to touch it or play it yet. I just uploaded the game in front of me just to see what it would show when any messages, and that's the 50 versus 50 back message it just showed me. But like I don't know. So I just had PUBG recently, maybe a few days ago, and got $30. It's fine, and I really wanted to like this game. I knew it had issues already before I bought it. I was well aware of that before I paid $30 for it. I played about up to 10 matches, and then before that, the fuckery started. Number one, when I would get into the game. I'm flying down, about to parachute. I parachute, get into the ground. All the buildings are extremely like 2D pixelated, not even fully in there. I'm trying to get through doors I can't get into, and then finally it comes down and it's fine. It fixed itself. I get all these guns. I'm ready to go. I'm like, great. And then the fucker starts. I'm running like up a hill, and then I get glitched back down the hill. Like, I have to run up again. It keeps happening, and I have to find another way to go up the hill. I'm like, this is really stupid. It's running at 30 frames per second. That's not great for Xbox One. Most gamers know that's not good for that's not going to work that well on Xbox One, especially a game like PUBG. There's too much going on for 30 frames per second. It has to be like 60. It has to be 60. They really have got to fix that. I'm sorry, but they do, because unless they fix some of the frame rate. The frame rate was so bad to the point where my breaking point was this. I got into a car after I had found great armor. I had a really good ACR, helmet. I was ready to go, bandages. I was all set to go. Get in the car. I saw this guy. I was following him. He got out of his car, tried to run into a building. I got out too. Car was on a hill. Let me make sure you know this. The car did not roll down and kill me. No. The car, because I went behind the car to try to use some cover. No. The car lagged out on top of me and killed me. That's right. It lagged out on top of me and killed me. I was so angry. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I've never been so angry before in my entire life. I just didn't understand, like, why is this happening? One of the other things in Blue said is the squad. The squad option when you load into the game. God fucking help me. You have to have 4 people. We had the hardest time, Blue, I know you'll say this when I'm done. We had the hardest time loading into a game because we had to get a 4th person. We couldn't get 3. Because in Fortnite, you can pick up 3 people, right? Hello?
God damn it. Okay, so the thing is, the mic came disattached. Okay, so pretty much like the thing about like Fortnite that I do like is the fact that not only with the different modes and whatnot, I don't have to fill if I don't want to. I can set my shit to private. You know what I mean? So like even if I decide that hey, I want to play squads, but I just want to I just want to run a duo and whatnot, I don't have to run duo. I can actually say, hey, I want to go in squads as a duo. You know what I mean? And not have to pick up 2 more people unless I wanted to fill. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And do that. You know what I mean? If we want to take 3 people in our squad and whatnot and just run with that, we can do that. If we want the full 4, we can take the full 4. We don't have to have, you know what I mean, like 4 if we don't want it. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of seems like, because you, me, and Tree Rapper were playing the other day, and then we had that one random. And
right.
I was doing fine, but that one random like decided he wanted to keep following me and doing dumb shit, and like the dude got me killed because of the fact that like he wouldn't fuck off.
He kept driving in front of you, like, get in the car, bro. It's like, no, I don't have to get in the fucking car. Like, get out of here, man. Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, leave me the hell alone, dude. Like, obviously, if I didn't get in the car the first time, you know what I mean? Like, I got in the car and then got out of it. Obviously, like, I wanted you to fuck off.
Yeah, see, that's the other thing. We were at a party, too, so we couldn't communicate with the guy. That's the unfortunate aspect of that. But, anyway, I mean, see, I got to the point where I actually, yesterday, got a refund for PUBG. I was so mad. And I was like, I can't play this. Like, I want, but that's the thing. I want the game to be good on console. And I know people have said, and friends of ours, me and Blue said, oh, well, it's not meant for console. Or maybe it's not meant for console. I don't totally believe that, but because I think it can be. They need to fix it. They just came up with an update. It didn't do jack shit because I bought it the day after the update, and it didn't obviously make a difference. But
it's going to, okay.
And I feel like they will fix it.
First thing is the game is in preview. Okay.
Yes.
That's the first thing.
That's unfortunately.
The second thing is the fact that like you also have to remember it takes time. You know what I'm saying? So like. We also do have to remember, we're running a goddamn beta right now. You know
Unfortunately, yeah, you shouldn't be charging people then, dude. I'm sorry, but you shouldn't. Because there's so many issues, man. That's what pissed me off.
I like the game preview program for Xbox.
Yeah, I do.
Because of the fact that a lot of times it helps to make games better. Because some of the games that they have, you know what I mean? Like some of the games that they have released, you know what I mean, from the preview program,
Yeah.
have really gotten a lot better after, you know what I mean, like after they went out of beta phase, because like there were games in there that were in beta phase for quite some time that
Yeah.
did not need to be in there.
Like Ark, that's another one. I didn't play.
After 2 years of being in the preview program.
That's actually, but see, it's great now, though, right?
Huh?
It's great. It's a great game right now, right? I mean, it's out. It's fully.
It always has been. See, like that is one of the few games. Okay, Ark is one of the few games that have come from PC that have actually been able to, you know what I mean, like carry over and like, actually, you know what I mean, like be worth something. And that's why people have so much like not necessarily hype following it, but so much you know, riding on PUBG actually, you know what I mean, being, you know, a great game on console.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're saying, because that's the thing. Like, We Happy Few. I love that game. That game is so fun. I don't know why I'm so addicted to it. They're about to come out with another. I think that's actually still in the preview program, if I'm mistaken.
It is.
But it's
I'm
about to come.
actually looking
Well,
at it right now.
they're going to release the full version of it in March. It's actually going to be done or everything. I think I'm going to get that again. I played the trial. I didn't pay for the whole thing, but I really enjoyed that game. It was very entertaining, and I love the story aspect of it and what you have to do. It's pretty cool. I enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, but anyway, so I really want it to. I want PUBG to be great. I really do. I think in time it will be. Our friend True Rapper is like, oh, why would you want to return? Like, why would you do the refund? Just like, I'm just gonna hold on to it until it gets better. I'm like, yeah, but one, you don't know how long it's gonna take for them to fix that. Number two, I could think of a lot other better games that I could spend my $30 on. Like, I just bought the campaign for Fortnite, and I know I will enjoy this much more than I will, and I'll be able to play it. Of course, I can play PUBG with PSYKOSIS, but now, like the campaign, I really was interested in Fortnite mainly for the campaign when I first saw the opening videos for that, and I was like, this is actually pretty good.
I remember when it first came out, it was like it was between like Fortnite and like another game. I don't remember what other game it was off the top of my head, but it was like those are the games that I kind of I wanted
Bless.
and whatnot, and it was like oh yeah, it was like Fortnite, Killing Floor 2, and
You gotta
like
speak up a
something
little
else,
bit.
it was like Fortnite, Killing Floor 2, and like something else, and they were all coming out all around the same time.
Right.
And it was like, I know that like it was like another survival game that wasn't Fortnite. I can't remember what the hell it was off the top of my head, but it was like I remember I was gonna get it. And I think I have it, whatever it was. Still,
All right.
but moving on.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I think my set was too loud. All right. So there's another thing before we start the news and headlines aspect. We're kind of doing that a little bit. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna flip this like this. We did that. Now I'm gonna give you a news and headline topic, and then we're gonna go to my other little diatribe thing, which is kind of like 3 segments of Generation Soapbox, but that's all right. So for my first, let me get this back up. So Square Enix, about a few weeks back, posted on their Twitter account, Square Enix, about a new Tomb Raider game is on the way. They announced on their Twitter page that there would be a development on the new Tomb Raider title, and I quote, Square Enix is excited to share some big news with you next year. Honestly, we wish we could share it with you right now, but we're taking a new approach to this time. A new Tomb Raider game is coming, driven by our goal of putting our fans first. We want you to know that it won't be very long between the official reveal and when you can play. Our journey together will begin with a major, with a major event in 2018. We simply can't wait to take you on Lara Croft's defining adventure. End quote. That's not much, but for those of us who have played Lara Croft Tomb Raiders lately, we've pretty much enjoyed it. I have not played the most recent one, if you want to call it recent. I hear the sighing beginning when I started that sentence while there.
Okay.
But go ahead, man.
I am like I am one of the poster children for Square Enix. Okay, like I will say that it is very rare that Square Enix makes a bad game, but like I really want to drop kick everyone in Square Enix right now and tell them to fucking stop it, Stop being Ubisoft. Yeah, that's a crack at you, Ubisoft. Okay, yeah, I went there. Stop being Ubisoft. Stop trying to do all this dumb shit and whatnot. We don't need a goddamn Lara Croft game every year now, like Assassin's Creed. Get it? Calm that shit. I like it better when you span a couple years in between it. Okay,
Yeah.
like you just came out with the Tomb Raider game. Don't sit there and force the shit down our throats.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing too. I was like wondering about this. Is like there's not a lot of information about this, so like this is not going to be a very long topic segment. But that's literally the gist of the information we got, which is not unfortunate, but I mean I like that idea they're going to do that if they're going to do that. But I kind of agree. I do agree with PSYKOSIS. There is no reason for them to be pumping them games out every year. It's kind of unnecessary, and I hope that it's not the case. I hope that they fix it. I hope it doesn't. I hope if it comes out in 2018, it's later 2018, if anything. Because when was the last one that came out? Let me see. I don't even remember. Oh shit.
Came out last year around Christmas.
Yeah. And wasn't that like a prologue to it, right? Or no? I thought that was the prologue one. I don't know if that. Because the last one I played was like the one that came out in 2015.
The original remake
Or sure.
that they did
I
with
guess.
the original prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the sequel to the prequel.
Okay.
It just came out.
All right, moving on. So, before we do the last news and headline segment, it's something that we had I wasn't even going to talk about this on the show, but I decided to, because me and him because we're talking before we went on the air, that we realized, and this is especially because we're talking about Fortnite campaign, and not specifically has to do with Fortnite campaign, but the fact that the single player genre is dying. And that is a very sad thing, and I hope it's not. Bethesda, Pete Hines did an interview recently where he talked about it, and he mentioned it. And Bethesda is probably the leader in single player games in the industry. I'm sorry, they just are. Fuck you, Ubisoft, you're not. Because you look at a lot of games, like most of them are really multiplayer heavy, and that's fine. And the main reason companies do that because they can make money off of multiplayer titles. You can't really make that much off a single player. Unfortunately, you can put as many microtransactions as you want, which we're going to get to in the soapbox segment at the end of the show.
We are.
Yeah. But anyway, I just feel like, because that's why, Fallout 4, I love that to death, as much as I like them to do the MMO version of that, whenever they decide to do that. It's great. I can think of a bunch of Evil Within. That was another great game. I'm a big Bethesda fan. I love that company a lot. I love what they do. And there's some other great games that make single player titles as well.
Doom.
Yeah, Doom is another one. Or like Rockstar GTA 5's great single player and an amazing multiplayer. I mean, you can do it right. I'm not saying don't do multiplayer. I'm not saying don't do it.
It was an amazing single player because at the time there was no multiplayer.
No, I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying in general as a whole, the whole thing is like that now. I'm not talking about with time frames. I'm talking about in general, the whole thing.
That was just a crack at
yeah. I'm saying, but like other than that, there's not many great single player games. The genre is unfortunately going away because companies are trying to get these, shove micro and loot boxes up our ass unnecessarily. What do you think, man?
Okay, now before I say this, I'm following the conversation, but I just want to make sure that we're on the same page here. Are we getting to the microtransactions thing here, or are we still on the single player aspect right now?
I was talking about how single player games are dying. I was just making a point.
Just making sure before I make my statement.
I mean, we could do the soapbox segment now. We're going so off track with it. We could do it now if you want. I don't really care. But
okay, anyway. It's just like, okay, I agree. Single player games are dying. You know what I mean? Because I legitimately, I want that now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to be to where, like, don't get me wrong. I like the fact that, like, co-op, is available and stuff like that. And it's funny because me and my brother-in-law had a conversation about this, like, not long ago. He was just like, video games are kind of pissing me off nowadays because of the fact that, it's either to the point to where, like, I have to have a friend to play with or whatever because couch co-op is dying. And I'm like, to me, like, I don't mind the fact that couch co-op is dying, but at the same time, it's like, you know, single-player games is where it's at.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I have a friend, and legitimately for the longest time, all he would play was single-player games.
Right.
I mean, he never really played multiplayer games, you know what I mean, like, that often. Not because of the fact that he didn't have, like, people to play with or stuff like that. It was more or less the fact that, like, he just preferred playing single-player games. You know what I mean? And that's cool and all, but at the same time, it's like, now, the more and more you see games and whatnot, like, they're kind of getting pushed for that, you know, multiplayer aspect. You know what I mean? Like, even, like, games that used to be single-player heavy, you know what I mean? Like, GTA, you know, and stuff like that, where, you know, the game will focus on the single-player aspect, you know, are kind of moving to that multiplayer, you know, like, because I know that there's a game coming out soon. It's called No Way Out. And
yeah. Oh wow. Yeah.
yeah,
I like that.
that game
That looks great.
can only be played in co-op.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like there is no single players in that game. You cannot play the game by yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so that means that, like, when you're playing, if you know you're not playing with someone else, that the AI will take over. No, you have to play the game with someone else. You know what I mean? And it's kind of funny because, like, they've even said if you are playing with someone and whatnot, if you want to, you can invite anyone to the game, whether they have the game or not. And if they don't have the game, then they can download a free version of the game to play the whole game with you. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, okay, that's cool, but what about if I want to play this game by myself? You know, I have to, like, start looking for more and more games to play, you know, on my own.
Well, that's the thing, tells me that game is designed, like, so there's no AI for that second player at all, if you were to play by yourself. That's what that tells me. So that tells me exactly that the controls for the player, when they develop that game, are strictly based on you having another human being with a controller in their hand. It's not PvP, but player and player, if you will. So, which is, I mean, the story for that game looked great. When they released it at E3, they announced it looked awesome. Like, man, it's great. And then when they did the whole co-op thing, I'm like, really, man? Really? Like, does this game look like it'd be good either way? But yeah, it might be more fun. It might be more interactive when you have, or a lot different when you have another player. Of course it is.
And y'all don't even have to be in the same area. You know what I mean? Like, you can be on, like, one side of the prison. Right. I can be on another side of the prison. You know what I mean? And, like, we can play to the point where we don't even interact with each other for, like, God knows how long.
Yeah, the game's designed for sure like that.
The whole thing about it is the fact that, like, if I want to play single player league, you know what I mean, and just have, like, you know, the AI do whatever, I should be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? And, like, not just that game specifically, but, like, you know, okay, anyone who knows me knows I own, like, a lot of games on my Xbox. And looking at, like, half of them, because, like, I'm in my list right now, like, half the games that are on my Xbox right now are all multiplayer games. I think there's maybe 4, 5, out of 40 games that are installed on my Xbox right now, 5 of these games are single-player games.
Right.
5. You know what I'm saying? And I still have 400 games, well, not 400. I still have 360 games in my goddamn ready-to-install list. You know what I'm saying? And God knows how many of those are actually single-player games. So it's just like, it's ridiculous. I mean, the fact that they're dying.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. I mean, there's some companies that are going to try to keep it together. Like, for instance, obviously, you're... like I said, Bethesda, Rockstar's another company. I think that's good with their single-player titles. Let's try to see. If you're thinking about single-player only, that's really rare nowadays. Like, think about it. I can't, off the top of my head, I'm trying to even think of a company that even does that anymore besides Bethesda. It's very rare, but it's an unfortunate. And I hope that it gets changed. The one positive thing, the fact that it's getting talked about in the news media, besides us right now, Pete Hines and Bethesda knows it because they know it because they're the number one, genre developers for single player, and so I'm glad it's getting talked about. So that way it's not. I mean, if they stop making them, then it's surely dead. But it's getting there, unfortunately. But all right. So moving on to our last topic, and this one's going to be a doozy. This one's a last news and headlines topic before we get into the upcoming game releases, and that is.
Fuck you, EA.
What? I'm not getting there yet, dude. I'm talking about no. Slow your roll. I'm talking about that is Destiny 2's DLC is causing problems with the main game and problems in general. So, what I'm saying is DL2 players are finding that the game's first DLC has locked away previously accessible content. Previously, all players were able to run the Leviathan raid on all difficulties, including Prestige difficulty. Now that game, the game now that the game's curse of hold on. Now that hold on, yo, chill. Now that the game's Curse of Oris's DLC is out, players can't access the Prestige difficulty of the raid unless they own the DLC. This isn't the first time for this series. Something similar happened in the first Destiny when it launched its DLC. Most notably, with the Taken King, fans were upset at the time, and fans continue to be upset. And now it's clear the second game is following in the original's footsteps. Go ahead, man. I wanted to get that out there before you started ahead of yourself. It's been a while up here, folks.
It's I played Destiny 2 not last night, but the night before last, and I know that even I have the vanilla game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not buying the DLC for it. Hell, I didn't.
Yeah, I'm not either.
But at the same time, it's like there are a lot of things that are still open. It didn't it's not doing a hard screw like the first one did. Like, there is still a lot of content that is open.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To be able to do and whatnot, but the problem is the fact that just like you said in the first game, you know what I mean? Like, there are things that are locked.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that there's a lot more stuff open this time around.
Yeah.
I mean, because like it literally got to the point where when the first DLC came out, and the second when the House of Wolves and
right.
when the House of Wolves came out and whatnot, like, there was a problem with it. And then, like, the Dark Below came out, and then there was a problem with that, where, like, legitimately all content, like, all story content and whatnot kind of locked you out a little bit, and then it was like you couldn't play Crucible at all. You couldn't play most of the Crucible types, unless you had it. You couldn't do, like, some of the old raids and whatnot had been, like, updated to the point to where you could only do, like, certain versions of them and stuff. It's ridiculous because like, why should I be punished because of the fact that I'm not buying extra content?
Exactly,
right?
that's what I'm saying. So here, check this out too. This is I just found this too. I meant to say this. It's also like damaging in the case of the Nightfall rotation. Those who haven't purchased the Destiny 2 expansion will not be able to access certain weeks of Nightfall content if the rotation pulls a strike that is exclusive to that DLC. What the fuck? Really? Like, I don't understand. So you're basically, Benji, you're telling me you're trying to lock this out so that way you're forcing people to go buy the DLC. That's a bad way to get people to buy your DLC, dude. That's really stupid. They're making so many people angry with that. Like, so why do you
They didn't
lock all
learn
that
that
out?
lesson the first time, you know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that the first Destiny game fell off so much because of the fact that people were getting DLC locked and whatnot. And then it got to the point where it was just like, okay, the game pretty much died. The only reason that the game got a resurrection was because of the fact that, because the last two DLCs and whatnot, gave you everything.
Yeah.
If you bought the Taken King, you had all the DLCs up to that point.
Okay.
And even if you skipped the Taken King and you bought If you bought Rise of Iron, if you pre-ordered Rise of Iron, you got everything. If you bought Rise of Iron but didn't buy the other DLCs, it scaled enough to the point where you could skip content. You know what I mean? And still be able to play the last DLC, which was pretty much like everything that was in rotation right then and there. Yeah. So any of the other DLCs and whatnot that you didn't have, you were still kind of able to access that stuff, but you weren't able to do certain things for it. Well, I get that, but it's still stupid at the end of the day.
It is. And one thing I will say this is a lot of video game companies the industry itself, when stuff like this happens, a lot of the time companies will not say anything at all. They will be very quiet, or they will release the most BS political statement about why that is happening is what happening. On this case, that is not the case. I'm kind of happy that Bungie released a statement. They said they admitted their mistake, and I quote: they said, "With Curse of Osiris now live, it's clear that we've made some mistakes, with how we have handled content access. We would like to talk through the reasoning behind our decisions so far and what we are committed to changing moving forward. And it says, basically, Bungie is going to drop the Prestige Leviathan raid level requirement back to 300. This will allow all players to access it and unlock it. Any associated achievements with that raid. Trials of the 9, meanwhile, will only be available to Curse of the Osiris players when it features a Curse of Osiris map. Otherwise, it will be available to everyone. This will also allow all players to access achievements associated with that mode. However, this Prestige Nightfall content will remain exclusive to the Osiris Curse of Osiris, while Bungie is tinkering with the idea of adding a third difficulty setting. They state that the current raised level cap associated with that mode is in line with their intentions regarding its future. Normal Nightfall events, though, will be available to everyone. Same goes for time-limited events. You know what? It's like this could all been avoided in the beginning.
Hey, you know what? And it's funny that I'm gonna say this. Hey, Bungie, you're not doing shit for fucking Halo anymore. Stop the bullshit.
Yeah, really.
Stop the bullshit. Like, see, that shit was okay that you guys got away with it when we were, when we had to buy content for Halo and whatnot. But this ain't Halo. This is a completely different game. Get your head out of your ass.
Which Halo are we talking about?
Do what you need to do. Any Halo, because like when you played multiplayer for Halo,
Halo 5.
most of that.
Yeah, Halo.
Not even Halo 5, because like when you played like back with Halo 3, when you played multiplayer and whatnot, after a while it got to the point to where it locked you out of like certain game modes because of the fact that you didn't have the DLC. You know what I'm saying? So because of the fact you didn't have DLC, you got locked out of certain game modes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like the same thing would happen with like other games and whatnot. It was like every time Bungie did that, it would piss more people off because of the fact that you're gonna like decide to bare bones me. You know what I mean? Where I can't play like some of the game modes that I've been playing since day one, all because of the fact that I don't have DLC, or you know what I mean? Like you can't do what Call of Duty does and decide to make a playlist specifically for people who have DLC, versus those who don't. It's stupid.
Yeah, and I know that it is dumb and it's unfortunate, and I see. As far as Halo goes, I used to be a big Halo fan for Halo 1 and 2, and then, yeah. So anyway, all right, moving on. Next segment, upcoming video game releases. So normally when we did this on the hour version in the past, we would do like an entire month's worth, and even more than that. Like I read the entire list off the month. Well, I picked 5, and both of us agreed on them. They're both notable games that both of us are kind of familiar with, and also games that are popular in general. So first off, so we're going to comment on each one. There's only 5 of them, but they're all worth talking about. So number 1, Dragon Ball Fighter Z. That's for PS4, Xbox One, PC. That comes out January 26th. January 26th, yeah. Yeah, what do you think about that, bro? I have not ever played Dragon Ball games. So
this is going to be like different than most of the games that we've played before, because everybody's so used to the Budokai series, Tenkaichi series, like the 2 newer games and whatnot, Xenoverse and whatnot. This game pretty much is like Marvel vs. Capcom and like most of the other 2D fighter like crossover games and stuff like that. This is kind of what we want because of the fact that like this gives us a chance to kind of like do a lot more than just like be in a 3D universe where like we have to do like dumb shit. You know what I mean? And it like kind of get epilepsy. You know what I mean? From all like flashing lights and disappearing acts and all this other stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of crazy. But I'm really excited because like I've wanted a decent fighting game for a while, you know what I mean? Like, and lately like there hasn't really been any. So it's just kind of like
all right. You see, that's my thing. I suck at fighting games except for like WWE, so I don't play them. Except Soul Calibur, I like button mash the shit out of it, so I got really good. But anyway, All right. Monster Hunter World. That's PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Comes out January 26th as well. I'm kind of excited for this because I have not played a Monster Hunter in
I'm not.
ages. Looks pretty.
I'm not.
This man, I'm not. It's supposed to be every decade. I guess. Let me see the setting. What makes you not?
Okay, so like, I've kept up with the Monster Hunter series and whatnot. Like, I've played a bunch of the different Monster Hunter games, and like, every time I've played it, I've been disappointed. Like, I'm just like, why did I waste my money on this game? You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
kind of cool.
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. The concept of the game is cool, and I've played like one or two Monster Hunter games where like I was actually kind of like impressed. It's just that like depending on what you're playing it on, the controls are clunky. You know what I mean? Like cameras like screws you a lot and whatnot. It's just something you have to like really have to get used to and like be willing to put up with. You know what I'm saying? And like I don't know, like a friend of mine was talking about this game, and like this is supposed to be a completely brand new game.
Yeah.
Brand new controls, brand new everything, and I'm just kind of like, I might give it a chance, and then you know what I mean, like make sure I play this game for less than 2 hours so I can give it right back to Microsoft. But like, you know, I'm thinking about it. Yeah. I mean, I'm just like,
yeah, no, I want to like it. I love what I've seen so far. I mean, I know trailers and gameplay videos can only do so much for you. You need to really go and read. Like, this is what I tell people. Go to the actual game website, like MonsterHunter.com. Go to it, and it will. There's a lot of information about the game that gives you much more perspective than most people think you get from fucking IGN or GameSpot or any of these other or any us. Like, don't do that. Seriously, go out and take the time to research the game. I hate people that complain about games, but they don't take the time to go fucking research it. It's stupid. Anyway.
Player 2.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Oh, no sauce. So anyway, all right. Shadows of Colossus, excuse me. PlayStation 4 exclusive, February 6th. I do not have a PlayStation 4 anymore, but I really love Shadow of Colossus. I have always been a big fan of this. I love this fucking game. I don't know why. I've just always enjoyed it. I'm sorry. Really want to play this game. This game is fucking awesome.
I'm going to pass on this game because, like, I played the original Shadow of Colossus, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to spend, you know what I mean, like 45 minutes running across a goddamn, you know, like desert or a goddamn mountain just to get where I need to go because of the fact that like I don't have a goddamn horse.
No, I know. I see your point. I do. I understand that. Okay. All right. Oh, this next one is going to be a deep. Oh, I can't wait to even say this. But I might not even be able to finish the entire sentence before he blows the gasket. Metal Gear Survive. PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One are going to come out February 20th. Recently, they just released a gameplay video of it, of what it's supposed to be. And I know he's seen it as well. I sent it to him. And it really, before I even saw this, I had zero empathy for this game. It was not Kojima. It's just, I really had a hard time. Oh no, Sauce says you won't even buy it because Kojima isn't even making it because of how they did him wrong. And I know Konami did do him wrong. But I was kind of impressed with what I saw. I thought it would look kind of cool. I was like, okay, it doesn't mean I'm going to go buy the game when it comes out. By any means, I'm still on the other side of the fence. But it moved me closer to that fence a little bit. But I was like, I don't know. I just like what I saw, and I like everything that they kind of showed so far. But it's still, I don't know. I mean, maybe they'll give us there is actually, and the other thing, they're going to give a free beta. They're going to be a beta for it coming in January. So I want to try to get my hands on that so I can get a better understanding of it. But what say you, sir?
I want to mention a game that came out a while back. You know what I mean? That was a spinoff, like something like this. You know what I mean? Like for a game that, you know, the original set of people who did the game did not make and whatnot, and like it kind of had the same feel to me. Operation Raccoon City.
Operation Raccoon City.
Yeah, any true Resident Evil fan, you know what I mean, is probably hating me for saying that right now. But yeah, it's like, you know, the normal people who made Resident Evil didn't make that game. You know, they didn't have a hand in it. They just kind of was just like, hey, here's our franchise. Go ahead and do what you need to do, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you guys want to make this, whatever. We don't care. You I mean, I feel like this is the same thing that's going on with Metal Gear Survive here. I mean, like,
What did you think of that video, though? Honestly, be honest. I know that's not. It was a 5.5 minute video, but what do you think of it?
It's very interesting. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just. It's a good concept, you know what I mean? It's a cool concept, but like everything doesn't need zombies.
No, that's
I mean,
true.
And
That's
I
true.
know I'm like beating a dead horse talking about this to a person who like loves fucking zombies for some reason.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But still,
I love
you know
that.
what I mean? Like everything doesn't need zombies.
I love those dead fuckers. Yeah. No, it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, the biggest one. I mean, lately, actually, I don't think I've even playing zombie games. Well, I'm going to with Fortnite apparently, but so I guess there's that. No.
Wait, you ever play zombie games? What the fuck are you? That's all you play with Call of Duty. Shut up.
No, I do. Call of Duty Zombies. No, for the longest time, Black Ops 3 was all I played. Was Call of Duty Zombies. Like he would get online, and that's it. It would never change. Like every day, it would be the same thing. Or Infinite Warfare Zombies. Oh, Infinite Warfare Zombies. Especially when the last like 2-3 DLC, the 2 DLCs came out. All I was playing.
Talk about Infinite Warfare Zombies.
I was always just doing those Easter eggs, and I have all of them except for the last DLC. Whatever the one fucking DLC is called. I can't remember the last one. Anyway, I'm so, like, I know that, and the crazy thing about it is, I know that Easter egg like the back of my hand, and I'm so close, but anyway, I'm getting off topic. Yeah, so, no, like, I like the whole, like, building a base
so much
thing.
For this podcast not being an hour.
Huh?
So much for this podcast not being an hour.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, so, alright, so I'm not good, but anyway, back to Metal Gear. Yeah, no, I like the fact that they had the what we saw, the whole making your own base and all that, but I was thinking about it, I'm like, could they have done the same thing? Well, hear me out real quick. Could they have done that same game, but not had zombies and have just regular enemies? But, I mean, maybe you need the base. I guess they're surrounding that game around the zombies, so there's that, but it's hard to say.
See, when you do a survival game, you know what I mean, it's like, you have to kind of think of, like, any survival game that you do, you know what I'm saying, it's like, first of all, it has to be a reason for the survival thing and whatnot, so it's like,
yeah,
they're not necessarily, I mean, like, there's zombies in Fallout, but at the same time, they're not the main premise, you know what I'm saying, like,
anyway,
I mean, the ghouls,
yeah,
I mean, like, there's other survival, like, quote-unquote survival games and whatnot out there that don't have zombies, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, zombies is the one thing that we kind of go to because it's, like, the easiest thing to kind of, like, play around with a little bit. Because, so.
Sure. All right, and our fifth game, Far Cry 5, comes out. It's going to obviously be PC, PS4, and Xbox One. That's going to come out March 27th. I really want this. I really want this game. This game looks fucking epic. I don't know why. The attention to detail is fucking mind-blowing. I really am going to enjoy this. Because I was disappointed with Far Cry Primal. I wasn't even touching that, and I'm still not touching that. I don't want to play... If I need to kill people with rocks and sticks, I can go outside and do that. Well, not literally, but... Like, I know... Primal turned me off with the franchise so badly. I was like, really? We're doing this? Like, we're really going to this? Like, I just... So 5, like, was complete just role reversal and 360, and I think I'm really gonna like. I'm gonna actually, I think I did pre-order it. So I'm really hyped. I'm really hyped for this game. I think I'm gonna really enjoy it. What about you, buddy?
Whoa, another Far Cry game.
You used to love 3 and 4, man. What are you talking about?
I played those games, but it was just kind of like they were just there. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, like, Far Cry 3, you know what I mean, like, I played it, but, like, I stopped halfway through and just, like, stopped giving a damn. Like, right. Far Cry 4, like, I'm halfway through the game, and I just have no will to finish it. I'm just like, that's just what happens, you know what I'm saying? Like, I lose interest in that game so quickly.
Now, it is basically, you know what, it's funny you say that, because I do understand what you're saying. I really do, because if you want to base that, like, if you were to judge that against the other open world games in the gaming industry, it would not be one of the top ones. I just wouldn't, because it basically is like, compare them to the other ones. I mean, first of all, GTA 5 is going to blow it out of the water every time, but like, it's kind of it's hard to. I'm not comparing it to that by any means of the stretch of the word, but like, it's kind of would you say it's almost like a just run-of-the-mill open world kind of game? Like it's nothing that really makes it exciting, or
Pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
like open world sandbox. You know what I mean? Like third and fourth.
Yeah.
Wow, what the fuck? Third
It's almost
and
like-
first person shooter. You know what I'm saying? It kind of is what it is.
it's almost like what Saints Row used to be. But anyway, but or the last one.
Ouch.
No, the last like the superhero thing. Okay, the superpowers for that, I didn't mind that for a little bit. Or at first I was like, really, what the fuck? Is this what we're doing? And then I actually started playing and really, really like pushing myself to get into it, like unlocking stuff. Then I enjoyed it. It's not that hard. I'm just saying that to make him all riled up.
So I want to bring out a hidden game
Sure.
for this one. Okay, so another release and whatnot, and this doesn't release until March of next year. Whatnot, Sea of Thieves.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I've actually, you know what I mean, like, I'm kind of on the fence about this, but, like, I kind of want it, mainly because of the fact, I want to at least play, you know what I mean, like,
It looks pretty cool, man.
because the fact that, you know, I can get a pirate ship and go, you know, on an adventure with my friends, you know what I mean, and, like, start a crew, you know what I mean, and go plunder and pillage, you know what I mean, like, and get into sea fights, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just ridiculous, you know what I mean? Like, it's amazing.
Get your friends. Yo, man, come on, man. Let's go get that booty. But in this day and age, that might be taken a little bit differently. But
Oh, man.
all right. Anywho, no, that looks great though. Although one thing I would like that game to stop doing, and thankfully is a release date. I was about to say, if there wasn't a release date, stop showing that shit at E3 every year, because I'm like tired of like for the last 2 years all we've seen it is E3, and I'm glad they've taken the time. Obviously, games this day and age take a while to make, and that's
See,
understandable.
that's another thing, too, because the fact that please, especially when it comes to E3 and, like, other video game, like, conferences and stuff like that, stop showing us games that you plan on canceling.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh my god, I hate that about E3. I really do. I love E3, but man, that shit lately he's been doing that. I'm like, he's so right.
Scalebound still hurts my heart.
Yeah, Scalebound. A lot of people are mad about that. Like, it's supposed to be still a possibility to get revived, but I'm not gonna hold your breath for that.
I will Kickstarter that shit. You know what I'm saying? If I need to, I mean, like, point me to who I need to start. You know, like who I need to get in contact with.
Yeah, that's kind of a sad one. That's unfortunate. It's Microsoft closed studios for it, so it's. Anyway, all right. So moving on to our final segment, the Generation Soapbox, and today our soapbox segment is going to be purely on one topic, and that is microtransactions in particular and how they're affecting the gaming industry and microtransactions in general.
Fuck you, EA.
First off, real quick, when microtransactions I felt were introduced to the gaming industry, it was more of like microtransactions seemed to be in MMOs, if I'm not mistaken. Psychosis
For the most part,
Yeah.
it was typically an MMO thing.
Right, and now it's like every multiplayer game is like fucking loot box city. Thankfully, though, one thing, and I will say this, and you might disagree, but when Call of Duty World War II obviously you can buy Call of Duty points, you can do that. Call of Duty has done something where like you can still get those loot boxes, but you don't got to pay for them. I like the order thing. The order system gives you the loot boxes still, but I don't have to actually spend my own money. Like, yeah, you can if you want to. I like that. Not a lot of games kind of do that. I mean, there are games that do. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Call of Duty's broken the mold or anything on loot boxes, but I just wanted to say that. But go ahead, man.
My thing, okay, and my thing about microtransactions, legitimately, is the fact that you know, not only can they make or break a game, it's just like, you know, what happens with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the reason I say that is mainly because of the fact that there are games out there and that like rely on microtransactions to keep going.
Unfortunately.
But at the same time, like, those are the games in which, like, you know, it's questionable of whether or not, you know what I mean, like, they're needed. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the same time, you know what I mean, like, I could have it to the point where, like, you know, I'm playing this game and there are microtransactions available. And there's like, depending on the type of game that you're playing, there's two types of microtransactions.
Right.
Okay? There are pay to play transactions. You know what I'm saying? Which like give you things to help. Like for DLCs and like little stuff that like can enhance the game.
Yeah.
Then there's pay to win. Microtransactions, where like there are things that can only be obtained by buying them that give you an advantage of it, and like over other people in the game.
Bullshit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, a game like GTA. Okay,
Yeah.
microtransactions aren't a bad thing for that,
No.
because technically there's no pay to win shit and whatnot necessary. And the thing about it is, the only thing that you can necessarily buy in the microtransactions is
money.
In-game money. You know what I'm saying?
Hello.
So yes, and
this guy did that a lot. I did that a lot.
So yes, it can give you an advantage, and no, it can't at the same time, because of the fact that like what it is that if I decide I want to buy money for GTA, like by doing a microtransaction, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to have an advantage over you. Okay,
No.
that just means I have more money than you. Okay, like yes. What does that mean? I could go and buy something that you don't have. Okay, it doesn't necessarily mean that I need it, or necessarily mean that it's something I have to use against you. It's one of those things that can like help me, or like kind of hurt me, because like at the end of the day, like if I go and decide I want to buy like $10 million, a Megalodon card, which is like what, $10 million?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait. How much? Say that again.
The Megalodon. I think it's like 10 million, something like that.
Yeah, that's like $50, I think. Yeah, I think that's pretty expensive. Because like $20 is like $1.5 million. Yeah. Because like I bought a lot of them. Rockstar and Take-Two have made billions of dollars on these cards themselves. That's why you're getting free updates and free DLCs, which actually have been relatively good. Smuggler's Run was alright, but I have not been disappointed, especially Doomsday Heist. I love that heist. Anyway, I'm getting off topic, but he's right.
Yeah, because like that's like especially like one of those games where it's like it doesn't hurt. Microtransactions doesn't hurt.
No.
Now, throughout this podcast, you've heard me say a couple of times, "Fuck EA." Okay. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is so unnecessarily broken.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about that.
You know what I mean? Like that, like the game is literally unplayable.
Yeah.
What do I mean by that? I mean, like, if, when first starting the game, if I decided I wanted to spend, like, money on microtransactions to buy, like credits and loot boxes and all that other stuff, I could do that. Now, the thing is, like, I could buy boxes until I get whatever I want and start the game, you know what I'm saying, and, like, have a whole bunch of stuff outright. And then, you know what I mean, like, Jay could sit here and start the game himself and whatnot, start playing at the, and not buy any loot boxes, and, like, have to put in the work to try to get everything that he needs.
Here's my thing, though, real quick. EA, it's not the fact that like it's that you can buy that. It's the fact that EA is basically asking you to buy spend more money on a full price game, on characters that did you see the system for like the characters on how much you had to spend to like unlock that shit when it first came out? It was insane. You could spend hundreds of dollars on loot boxes and get random currency, which you don't always get every time, or you can do it the normal way and spend
about
ton of hours.
Anywhere between like 20 to 40 hours.
Yeah, which is fine. Okay, people are like, oh, you shouldn't have the game shouldn't even take that long. Yes, but for what they're asking for, it's not right.
It didn't take that long for all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so unnecessary how they did that.
Yeah, I just didn't like it. I have here. Hold on, I'm trying to find what I had. Sorry, I saw something pop on my phone. Yeah, like Star Wars, it just encouraged like people to spend money, on loot boxes for a chance at getting upgrades. A chance. So that means you're spending money on something you're not exactly sure what you're going to be fucking getting for their character. And then for one of us, at least the fans. So one analyst apparently he said gamers aren't overcharged, they're undercharged, and we're gamers. This is what Evan Wingren of KeyBank Capital Markets said. He said this saga has been a perfect storm for overreaction as it involves EA Star Wars. Reddit and certain purist gaming journalist outlets who dislike MTX, microtransactions. If you take a step back and look at the data, an hour of video game content is still one of the cheapest forms of entertainment. Analyst shows that video game publishers are actually charging gamers at a relatively inexpensive rate and should probably raise prices. Is this dude serious? Like, I just read this off art. What?
Yeah.
He's saying, okay.
Someone's been drinking the corporate Kool-Aid,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying?
He's right to some aspects. Yes, he's right about the hour. Yes, an hour is probably, yes. But he's wrong on everything else, dude. You can't tell me that what EA did was even right. He's trying to defend EA. I'm sorry, but that's somebody, that's like a billionaire's or millionaire's outlook on that.
Like I said, someone's been drinking the corporate Kool-Aid.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, Jesus Christ, man. I just think, like, some games, like, there's only 2 games that I've ever spent microtransactions on, ever. Because before that, I didn't care. Like, I tried to just beat the game outright and try to get it do it the right way and unlock this stuff. But this is where microtransactions kind of kind of fucked, actually. And this is Call of Duty.
And the first thing I said, that, you know what I mean, like, you have to pay to play,
yeah, hold on,
stuff.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about my own instance, but I know what you're saying. I'm talking about something different. For me, like I said, I only Call of Duty and GTA. Those are the only 2 games I've ever bought microtransactions for. In the case of Call of Duty, though, where I said I was trying to say what it was fucked is you buy Call of Duty points to unlock. In my case, I would spend them on zombies and gobblegums. Well, I noticed when you would get Liquid Dividium and go unlock the gobblegums, you would get they weren't that great gobblegums. Every single time, and the same thing in Infinite Warfare, I would go and buy Call of Duty points. I always got really good loot crates and drops. It was never bad shit. It was really crazy. And I did it. I went out of my way. One time I bought like $20, $30 worth of points. And I literally bought a bunch of them. And they were all good stuff. And then when I went back and got like Liquid Dividium or got keys for Infinite Warfare, it was all like mediocre crap. I'm like, that's interesting. And I never noticed it before. I'm like, so that's what they're doing. So they're doing, it's obviously on purpose. I did it so much that you could see a pattern.
Funny that you say that, because I've always had the opposite effect.
Yeah, I never had that, dude. I went out of my way and I bought, like, I spent easily close to hundreds of dollars already, like, on Call of Duty points in the past. And I went out of my way and I remember I spent $40 worth of Call of Duty points, which is about 1,500 points a piece, 3,000 altogether. That's a lot of Call of Duty points. And I bought every single thing I bought. I had top-end stuff. Now, I'm not saying I didn't get top-end stuff out of getting Liquid Dividium or keys, but it was really rare to get, like, good stuff at all. I always got great stuff when I bought Call of Duty points. But then again, and this is no offense to you, but I played it way more than you did. So, I mean, but that doesn't mean, that necessarily mean a whole lot when it's in the access of buying things. But anyway, that was just my experience with it. But what you say?
Yeah, because like because when it comes to Call of Duty, even when I bought like points and like bought boxes and stuff like that, like I've gotten mediocre boxes.
It's pretty rare for you. Anyway,
you know what I'm saying? And like even when I did it that way or like any other way, it never really felt like it was any different. You know what I'm saying? Like I just felt like I was just like getting more stuff from my inventory. I mean,
yeah, I know that, but
there've been games like that, and it's just like that's like buying what else? Like sports games and stuff like that. Like I remember like I bought VC for like NBA 2K like countless times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
or
right.
like you know what I mean? Like game like that where it's just like it's all about like boosting my character stats and like being able to buy stuff from my character or like what customizable stuff and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's like there've been like countless games where I've done that. You know what I mean? Where I didn't need to, but at the same time, it's like depending on what the game was, and depending on like what I was buying it for, I'll also played in a part of that because I know that there have been times in which like, and I keep saying this, like DC Universe is like another like good example of this because of the fact that it's MMO.
Right.
There are things that you can buy, like that you can not obtain in game and whatnot, and they're strictly cosmetic. Cosmetic. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like they give you any necessary advantage in the game and whatnot. But at the same time, like there's also these little things that you can buy, which like unless you you pay for them, like there's these boxes that you get in game. You earn them in game, but like you can't open them unless you pay to buy the keys. And in order to get the keys, you have to do microtransactions. So it's like I can understand doing that, but at the same time, it's eventually stuff that you can get in game. But like in order to get it in game, you still do kind of have to like pay that price because like if I want to, I can go to the auction house and see if someone's selling whatever items are in there or whatever, But it's like there are little boosts and stuff that I can get, but I don't necessarily need them. All that shit can be earned. Like a lot of that stuff can be earned in game. It's just like harder to find. You know what I'm saying? And like you have a better chance of getting it by opening these boxes.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. That is
which
it is a
which
lot.
is
It's
okay.
just,
Stuff like that is okay.
well, what I'm saying is it's starting to ruin. It's starting to get a bad thing. That's not bad, but in general, it's starting to be a bad thing because of the fact that, well, one, Hawaii and Belgium. Hold on, dude. Hawaii and Belgium are trying to outlaw it and make it gambling, which technically it fucking is. I mean, you think about it, like especially if you're buying it and you're getting something random, that's called fucking gambling. Yeah, no, I just think they need to do just. It's another way for them. That's another thing. We're talking about the single player games, the single player genre dying. It's in multiplayer games. There's so many multiplayer games that you're gonna find even single player games have like fucking my god, fucking Assassin's Creed Origins has fucking loot that's in fucking points in it. Why does that need points? Why does that game fucking need point system? That's stupid. There's no reason you need to have points in there at all. That doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't to me. I don't know, but all right. Well, is there anything else you wanted to add on to that? Because if not, it might be the end of our.
Yeah, fuck you, EA.
All right. So, hold on. Dr. Duke, how you living, John? This is your old friend from Crofton Middle School, Derek Rollins. Derek Rollins.
That's one of my peoples.
All right, I was gonna say Derek Rollins. I like that middle school man. He knows
who you are, though.
Well, obviously, we just said that, but like
he rode the bus with us.
Well, I'm saying is one, I went to Arundel Middle School, and two, like my brain cells are so burnt that I don't even remember if I can even remember who I went to school with back then that much. I mean, I can a little bit, but I'm just trying to like recollect in my brain. But so no offense to you, man. I'm just trying to get a face, and I'll look it up later. But Derek Rollins. All right. Well, yeah, I sent him a friend request, but that's cool. All right. Well, besides that, thanks, Derek, for that message. Thanks, PSYKOSIS back again. Like I said, sure, he might not be here every Monday we're doing the podcast. When he can, I know he's going to be here. But most of the times you can check the both of us together on the Generation Gaming Twitch channel. We're going to be stream every day except for Wednesdays and Sundays. Tonight we're going to stream from from 4, probably 5, depending on if I can get done the stuff I need to do around the house today.
I will definitely be streaming today. I might be double streaming. I'm not sure.
That usually never works out well for him. So I'm going to work out from 4 to 7 is the original scheduled time. If not, it's going to be 5 to 7. Not me and him are going to get into Payday 2, something I never thought I would, but hey, it's free, so. Or actually, probably Fortnite. I'm going to guess one or the other. I'm probably going to say Fortnite, but we'll see. One or the other. Those are the two we're going to get into. The campaign, not the Battle Royale of Fortnite itself. But thanks, man, for coming back. PSYKOSIS is back. Generation Gaming, this is really good, man. This is where it's worked out really well. Thanks for coming back and doing this.
Not a problem, man. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, that's good, man. All right, thank you so much for joining us here on the Generation Gaming Twitch channel. This is going to be available immediately on the Generation Gaming YouTube channel. right after we end this. I'm Jay Lewis. This is Generation Gaming, the video game news outlet made for the gamers, by the gamers. Join the revolution to put the gamer's voice first. We see you guys later today, right here on the Twitch channel.
Viva la revolution.